This show is pre-recorded and cannot accept your calls, giving you a great opportunity to sit back, listen, and enjoy.
Comme un amant qui parle de bonheur a souvent les yeux tristes. N'est-ce pas un sanglot que la déconvenue, une corde brisée au doigt du guitariste? Et pourtant je vous dis que le bonheur existe.
Happy Thursday. This is Keeping It Real with your host, Melissa Frei. How are you doing? I'm so happy that you're here to join me on this fine Thursday afternoon. I hope you've had a magical week and everything has been wonderful. This week, I'm not solo. I have a guest on with me this week that I'm super excited to have her on. I've actually known her for quite some time. I was trying to think about how long I've known my guest, and I think it's been about, I'll have to ask her when she comes on, but I think it's been about close to 6 years, if maybe not a little bit longer. And so I have had personal experience with my guest, Luci McMonagle, that's going to be joining us today, and have had a privilege and an honor to watch her grow and to manifest into the amazing person that she is today and the opportunities that she's going to share with us. Luci's an intuitive business and lifestyle success coach, helping others learn how to use their intuition to create a lifestyle and business they love. Individuals work with her because she helps them heighten their connection with their intuition, gets results on following their dreams, and has had proven systems to help them succeed. So I'm excited to bring her on with me today. Hello, Luci, and welcome to my show.
Thank you, Melissa. It's such an honor and a pleasure for having me on your show.
Thank you. How long has it been? Has it been closer to 7 years?
It's been a little over 6, not quite 7.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about that earlier, and I was like, man, how long has it been? And it's just been such an honor to be a part of your life and to watch you grow into this business and watch your journey. And so one of the things that I want to share with our listeners, first of all, is a little bit about your history and a little bit about who you are, and as we segue into this business that you've created and wanting to help others.
Okay.
So where did this all start?
The vision the vision for my current business started last year. I wanted to create something that was more than the meetups and the events that I created when I was in the area that you live in. And I wanted it to be something that would really impact the world on a global level. And so I started seeing myself providing retreats and seminars. And I was frightened at first because, you know, I went from wanting to just do really safe, small retreats and little tiny events at a small location to actually looking at starting my first of many women's retreats for creating a global empire.
Beautiful. And where did that, was it something that came about for you as far as like a vision, or because I know that before you had left this area, because we did live in the same area here in New Mexico, did you have any idea that this was going to be something that you were wanting to do?
Yes, I did. When I first started my personal development in my 20s, I would see myself providing education for groups. And that was the prelude for preparing me to see myself providing education for a larger audience, and then to start seeing myself stepping, like a stepping stone.
Sure. And how did you get into your intuition? That's a great topic. Like, where did that all start out for you? Because I know that's something that you do in integrating into your retreats and integrating and helping people build their business.
I started back in my 20s, and I was introduced to the White Star Church, which is a spiritualist church. And as I started attending that particular church, they would have information about developing your true self. They would have science of the mind. I started reading Ernest Holmes and Louise Hay material. And as I started reading that more and more, I started realizing that a lot of the thoughts that I had were not my own thoughts. And once I could discern between what was mine and what I accepted as mine from somebody else, I could start hearing that little tiny quiet voice inside of me. And as I started becoming more and more silent and I started listening a little more deeper, that's when I started having major breakthroughs of listening to what my soul or my intuition was telling me.
Nice. And so in developing your intuition and going on that path, what experience have you had in the past with business or understanding marketing and that whole realm?
My first path started in my 20s and following my intuition for creating healthcare business. And I used to help individuals who were recently from the hospital, from an injury or a surgery, and they weren't capable of fully taking care of themselves in the house, but they couldn't quite afford the healthcare management system. So that was my first experience using my intuition on how to help other people, plus being able to start a business.
Nice. And so when you looked at your business, how hand in hand were your intuitive decisions based on growing your business and working with your business? Was it something that you knew that you were doing, or was it something that slowly you one day were like, oh my gosh, like my intuition has played a really large part in creating this business?
It was more of a developmental stages for me, because whenever I started doing things that were against my intuition, my inner knowing, my life would start going south, as they would say. And when I started following my intuition and making smarter decisions, even though I couldn't make reasonable, rational thoughts, like sometimes it just didn't make sense. It's like my intuition was saying I should do this, but logically I couldn't figure it out. But when I did follow through and I put my logic on the back door, my life started becoming easier and easier. And so was my business growth too.
It's a concept, isn't it? When you follow your intuition, it gets easy.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And that's the beauty that I think too in today's day and age is that the scariest thing, and I know for myself, creating my own business, gosh, it's been, I want to say 8.5 years now since I took the leap in saying, okay, I'm going to do this for myself and create a business. It is scary. It is hard to trust that gut and to say like, okay, I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this all out there, and just being open to seeing what happens. And and it seems like, and I don't know if you have any information on this, but looking at the growth of businesses that have developed over the course of the past, I would even say 3, 4, 5 years of people creating their own business, self-employment is just skyrocketing. Have you noticed that?
Yes, it is. And it's phenomenal. I'm so excited that there's so many people that are really bringing their unique gifts into the world.
Me too. What do you feel is like the main reason for people wanting to build their own businesses?
I believe the main reason is because we're entering a new period in time where the old paradigm of dog eat dog, and you have to work hard and you have to slave and you have to work 9 to 5, and all of those old paradigms are starting to fade, and the true paradigm, the true reality of working hand in hand with one another and really having a global impact so that we can create wealth for everyone that's involved, not just for ourselves, not just for our family, but to truly make an impact on a global level.
Now, I have to ask you this because I know, again, for myself in starting up a business and thinking, especially too, if it's in a more spiritual practice, and not saying that any business is not a difficult one to jump into, but it can be really intimidating. It could be really scary to say, okay, I have this vision, I have this idea, I have something that I would love to create. And I've noticed for a lot of people, it's so hard into saying, okay, I have this idea versus, okay, is this my intuition saying, like, do this job, or is it my dream? How can somebody who might be in that place or that position of where they're uncertain, they know they want to create a business, they have maybe an idea, but they're in the question of, is this supposed to be, or is this just an idea or a thought?
That's an excellent question. My belief system is you start where you're at. And using myself as an example, several years ago, I would just do little meetups at my house. And that's where I was starting. I was starting exactly where I was at with the level of comfort I was at. And as I became more and more confident doing that part-time, then I developed more into the business end to create the bigger vision. So it's kind of like a step-by-step process. You start with where you're at, and you just go with what you have. And then when you get a little bit of confidence, that's when you take the big leaps. You just need a little bit of ambition, a little bit of confidence. And the big leaps will truly make remarkable differences in your life.
So I couldn't agree with you more. I think that it's I know that for myself too. I get so many ideas, right? And it's like I have to keep that notepad and pen by my side because it's like the ideas that come through, and sometimes I know that it can be overwhelming too at times with the level of information coming through and ideas and having to sift through that. So would that be a great reason why, hiring like somebody like you who is a coach, a success coach and a business coach, and helping somebody to process and to navigate through some of those thoughts? Is that something somebody would do with you?
Yes, that's one of the things that we do when we start doing the first intensive is we really start getting clarity on what is the biggest dream and then trying to work backwards from that. Because a lot of the ideas and a lot of the different passions that people have is because we're multi-passionate. And giving yourself permission to really focus and go for the one main passion first, and then once you really become successful and good at that, then you give yourself permission to follow the other ones.
Got it. So it's almost like what I hear you saying is so by starting back at the big picture, then by going backwards, are you able to see the different roads that lead up to that picture? And is that how you pick a starting point?
That's how I picked a starting point.